In early 2023, a large white balloon drifted silently across the vast expanse of the United States, capturing the world's attention and sparking a wave of speculation. It was an unusual sight, something out of a Cold War thriller, hovering high above cities, towns, and open countryside, visible to millions of Americans who looked up and wondered what it was doing there. American officials quickly identified the object as a Chinese high-altitude surveillance balloon, a sophisticated piece of technology designed to gather intelligence. Its path was no accident. It floated directly over some of the most sensitive military sites in the country, including missile silos and Air Force bases, raising immediate concerns about national security and foreign espionage. The incident triggered a full-blown diplomatic crisis. Beijing insisted the balloon was merely a civilian weather research airship blown off course, but Washington was unconvinced, viewing the incursion as a bold and deliberate act of espionage. The world watched as both sides traded accusations, each statement escalating the tension between two global superpowers. Fighter jets were scrambled to intercept the balloon, tracking its every move as it crossed the continent. Yet, military leaders hesitated to shoot it down over land, fearing debris could injure civilians or damage property. Only when the balloon finally reached the Atlantic Ocean did an F-22 fighter jet take it down with a single missile, ending its mysterious journey but beginning a new phase of investigation. The recovery of the wreckage became a high-stakes race to uncover the secrets of China's surveillance technology. Navy divers and intelligence teams worked around the clock, sifting through the debris for clues about the balloon's true capabilities and the data it might have collected during its flight. For Western nations, the incident was a wake-up call. If China could send a balloon undetected across the US, what else might it be doing in other parts of the world? Intelligence agencies pored over global surveillance data, searching for similar patterns and potential threats, realizing that the skies above were not as secure as once believed. The slow, high-flying balloon exposed a critical vulnerability in modern air defense systems, one that had been overlooked in an era dominated by satellites, drones, and cyber warfare. Air defense operators were caught off guard, forced to confront the reality that old-fashioned methods could still outsmart the most advanced technology. Defense ministries across Europe, including the UK, responded with urgency. Emergency meetings were called, and airspace security protocols were reviewed and updated. The incident forced a new focus on monitoring the upper atmosphere, as leaders realized that threats could come from unexpected directions. The balloon incident was more than just a technical issue. It became a powerful symbol of China's growing confidence and its willingness to test the boundaries of international norms. It sent a message to the world. The competition for dominance was no longer limited to the ground or cyberspace, but now extended into the skies above. For Britain, a key US ally, the implications were immediate and direct. Security now meant not only defending against cyber attacks and ground-based threats, but also keeping a vigilant watch on the upper atmosphere. New investments in radar and monitoring technology were quickly prioritized. The balloon's journey became a form of psychological warfare, a stark reminder that even the most powerful nations could be watched, probed, and tested. It unsettled the public, fueling debates about privacy, security, and the changing nature of global conflict. The new frontier in global rivalry had arrived, high above in the stratosphere, where the boundaries between peace and provocation are as thin as the air itself. The world had entered a new era where the sky was no longer the limit, but the next battleground. The 2023 balloon wasn't an isolated event. It was just one visible sign of China's much broader long-term global surveillance strategy. For years, China has been quietly expanding its intelligence reach, using a variety of sophisticated tools and methods to gather information from around the world. The balloon incident simply brought this hidden campaign into the public eye, making it impossible for governments to ignore. China's intelligence efforts are multi-layered and relentless. They combine advanced cyber espionage, where hackers infiltrate sensitive networks, with traditional human agents operating undercover. Add to this a growing fleet of surveillance satellites and now high-altitude balloons that can quietly drift over foreign territory, collecting data undetected. This blend of old and new tactics makes China's approach especially difficult to counter. Britain, with its network of military bases, cutting-edge technology companies, and critical infrastructure, stands out as a prime target for these intelligence operations. The UK's role as a global financial center and its leadership in science and technology only increase its attractiveness to foreign spies. The UK's close alliance with the United States, especially in intelligence sharing and military cooperation, makes it even more valuable for foreign intelligence gathering. Any breach in British security could potentially expose American secrets as well, raising the stakes even higher. Chinese law blurs the line between commercial tech firms and state intelligence, raising fears that any Chinese technology could be used for spying. This means that even seemingly harmless devices or software could be quietly collecting data for the Chinese government, making it difficult for other countries to trust Chinese-made technology. This fusion of state and commercial power enables surveillance on an industrial scale, allowing China to process and analyze vast amounts of information from across the globe. The sheer scale and efficiency of this system give China a significant advantage in the intelligence race. As a result, Britain faces a technologically advanced, well-funded, and truly global threat. The challenge is not just about defending against one-off incidents, but about countering a persistent, evolving campaign that targets every aspect of national security. The spy balloon incident made this threat tangible and immediate, forcing British leaders to re-evaluate their national security priorities. Suddenly, the abstract idea of foreign surveillance became a real and urgent problem, demanding swift action. Diplomatic protests and official complaints weren't enough to deter further incursions. It became clear that a purely political response would not be sufficient. Britain needed a robust technological answer to match the scale of the threat. The UK had to rapidly develop new ways to detect, track, and counter China's eyes in the sky. This meant investing in advanced radar systems, anti-balloon defenses, and new protocols for responding to aerial threats. This mounting pressure drove Britain to invest heavily in its own high-altitude surveillance program. British engineers and scientists began working around the clock to develop technologies that could match or even surpass those deployed by China. The race for control of the stratosphere had truly begun, with both nations striving to outpace each other in a new era of high-altitude intelligence gathering. The outcome of this contest could shape the future of global security for years to come. In response, the UK quietly launched Project Ether, its own high-altitude balloon program. These aren't weather balloons, they're advanced, uncrewed platforms designed to operate for weeks, powered by solar panels and advanced batteries. Their payloads include high-resolution cameras, infrared sensors, and signals intelligence equipment, all relaying data back to UK analysts in real time. Unlike satellites, these balloons can be steered by changing altitude, allowing them to loiter over areas of interest. They can be launched discreetly from British or forward locations, providing flexible, persistent surveillance. Project Ether gives the UK a powerful new tool to monitor global events. The stratosphere is now a critical domain for intelligence gathering. Satellites have long been the backbone of global surveillance, providing a bird's-eye view of vast regions from space. However, they come with significant limitations. Coverage is often brief, as satellites pass overhead only at certain times, and the technology involved is extremely expensive to launch and maintain. This means that while satellites are invaluable for wide-area observation, they can miss fleeting events and struggle to provide real-time, persistent coverage over specific locations. High-altitude balloons, on the other hand, operate much closer to the Earth's surface. This proximity allows them to capture higher-resolution images and data, making them ideal for detailed surveillance. What truly sets them apart is their ability to loiter, remaining stationed over a target area for days or even weeks at a time, something satellites simply can't do. This persistent presence enables continuous monitoring, which is crucial for detecting subtle patterns, gradual changes, or suspicious activities that might go unnoticed by satellites or even fast-moving drones. Analysts can track developments over time, building a much clearer picture of what's happening on the ground. Drones, while highly maneuverable and useful for many missions, have their own drawbacks. They are often noisy, require dedicated runways for launch and recovery, and are more easily detected by adversaries due to their movement and sound. In contrast, balloons are nearly silent, can be camouflaged against the sky, and are much harder to spot from the ground or by radar. They are also significantly cheaper to operate and maintain, making them an attractive option for sustained surveillance. For Britain, investing in high-altitude balloons is a pragmatic and forward-thinking move. These platforms help fill the critical surveillance gaps that exist between satellites and drones, ensuring no area goes unwatched for long. The goal isn't to replace existing technologies, but to create a layered, cost-effective surveillance network. By combining satellites, drones, and balloons, the military can achieve comprehensive coverage, flexibility, and resilience. Balloons provide the persistent, regional coverage that's ideal for long-term intelligence gathering, border monitoring, and early warning systems. Their ability to stay aloft for extended periods makes them invaluable for missions where patience and endurance are key. For a nation looking to maximize its defense budget and stay ahead in the intelligence game, high-altitude balloons represent a smart strategic upgrade, offering more eyes in the sky for less. The stratosphere is becoming a new arena for geopolitical competition. China's balloon program is extensive and integrated with its military strategy, supplementing its satellite network and tracking foreign military assets. Britain's Project Aether is a direct response, aiming to create a credible counter-surveillance capability. This action-reaction cycle is fueling a high-altitude arms race, with profound implications for global security. As more nations deploy these platforms, the stratosphere will become increasingly contested. Questions about airspace rights and rules of engagement will grow. The risk of miscalculation, balloons drifting into foreign airspace, could spark crises. This quiet contest echoes the early Cold War space race, but now the competition is nearly invisible. The future of international relations may be shaped by what happens high above our heads. The UK's air defenses have blind spots. Slow, high-altitude objects like balloons can slip through undetected. In 2022, a mysterious balloon drifted over Britain without official response, raising questions about radar effectiveness. Modern air defense radars are tuned to spot fast threats, filtering out slow-moving objects as clutter. This creates a vulnerability that adversaries could exploit. The US admitted similar gaps, prompting both nations to rethink their detection strategies. The UK is now recalibrating radars, retraining operators, and integrating civilian data to close these gaps. The challenge is as much about changing mindsets as upgrading technology. The spy balloon threat is slow and high, not fast and low. Ensuring the integrity of Britain's sky shield is now a top security priority. Spy balloons offer intelligence advantages, but they come with serious risks. Their presence in foreign airspace is provocative and could trigger diplomatic crises or even conflict if shot down. The ambiguity of their purpose, surveillance or something more sinister, raises the risk of miscalculation. Balloons could theoretically carry other payloads, making nations nervous and prone to preemptive action. As more countries develop these systems, the stratosphere could become crowded and unpredictable. Accidents, like a malfunctioning balloon crashing over a populated area, are a real concern. The proliferation of spy balloons could destabilize international relations. These high-tech tools are not infallible and can have unintended consequences. The risks are as real as the rewards. Persistent high-altitude surveillance raises tough ethical questions about privacy. Balloons can monitor vast areas, tracking movements of vehicles and people, not just military sites. In authoritarian hands, this technology could suppress dissent and control populations. Even in democracies, there's concern about domestic surveillance and erosion of civil liberties. Striking a balance between security and privacy requires strong laws, oversight, and public debate. As Britain advances Project Aether, it must confront these ethical challenges head-on. Britain's spy balloon program marks a new era in espionage. It's a smart move, cost-effective, flexible, and a way to close intelligence gaps. Balloons complement satellites and drones, giving the UK a layered defense network. But entering the high-altitude arms race also raises the risk of escalation and instability. The stratosphere could become a new flashpoint in global tensions. These balloons are both a technological leap and a potential gamble. As they take flight, they carry not just sensors, but the weight of unanswered questions. The future of security and privacy may be shaped by these silent watchers in the sky.